Hey man, this is Robbie. I am here at my older shop since I'm in the move right now. So I decided to put some lowering springs in my little daily. It's very basic. It's going to be an easy one. Just a few tips. This is an older car. Not much people have this type of suspension. Probably have newer cars, but I'll go ahead and explain and how I do it. With the minimal tool. I'm going to start on the front because usually things get more complicating on the front and simpler on the back. For these cars, I think it's like a McPherson strut or whatever they're called. Everybody probably has one of these jacks. If you only have scissor jacks, you could do one side at a time too, but make sure you have jack stands or something to put under the car that keeps it sturdy. Safety comes first, and you know, you don't want to get hurt. Especially at times now when you're by yourself at home, and if you're under the car and if the car decides to just fall onto you, it's not going to be cool. If you don't have jack stands, wheels, whatever, that's going to keep it so that it gives you enough space to be able to escape from under the car. Even though we're doing just a strut change or taking off the struts, it's still important. All right, looks pretty old, but what we're going to have to do is take this caliper off of the strut so I can pull the strut out without it being stuck. Take this brake hose off, take these bolts out from the bottom, and it detaches itself from the knuckle, and under the hood would be these 3 nuts I have to take off. Just brought a few tools out, and for this we have to take the brake pad off. Okay, so what I would have to do is hit this, boom, the strut is free. But for older cars we have a problem where this thing is attached. So what I want to do, I want to take the strut off, but this brake hose is going to be stuck in here. There's nowhere for it to go. So what I am going to be using is a hacksaw. Cut a slit into this bracket somewhere in the middle. Take the hose out. Voila. There we go. So I don't like keeping this caliper hanging like that with a lot of tension on the brake hose. The brake caliper bracket. All right, for this one, I'm going to use this breaker bar. 17 mil. Down on the lower arm, and the strut is out. Okay, so I really don't like doing this, but I'm going to put a vice grip on the top of the shock where it's the furthest away from the absorber, shock absorber itself. If I could loosen this bad boy. There we go. Oh, now it's loose. So my trick that I learned a long time ago was have everything ready, take off both tires if you're doing the front suspension, wheels and tires, set it up like this, put your foot somewhere in there, and boom. So nothing flies away, everything stays. So you got the upper sheet for the spring, the upper mount, the nut is in there. If you have a spring compressor, obviously it's better to do that. All right, so here's the stock spring, and here's a bump stop. I just cut it with a razor blade. So don't need this part. I guess I'll just leave this part back in there so I don't lose it. Yep. And here we are. Ooh, RSR. Lowering spring. I think I paid 10 bucks. 10 bucks for the spring. 10 bucks to ship. So 20 bucks for front springs. And it looks like the, is that cut? Is that how it is? That's interesting. But it is a lot shorter than the stock. Okay, so the spring is in. And now I just have to go backwards, putting it back in. Alright, I guess it lowered it some. No more than before, probably like an inch or two. Make sure you torque down the lug nuts. Make sure they're tight. And also go over this upper mount where the top of the shock is. If you can't tighten it all the way, and if it doesn't feel like it's tightened all the way, you'll be able to drive it for a little bit like this. So just take yourself to somewhere that there's an impact. Or so let me go ahead and turn the car around and start on the rear. This one has a solid rear end in the back. It's just like the Corollas, and a lot of the older type cars had these solid rear ends. Just got to unbolt the bottom of these shocks on both sides. What I'm going to do is step on it, pull the spring out. Voila! Online it was like 10 bucks for a pair of springs. So let me compare these. Okay, so here's the stock. Wow, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. So if I put this on, it's probably gonna sit pretty close to how it was. So what I will do is I will go ahead and cut. Guess I could cut a coil and a half, maybe? Coil and a half? Okay, as I am thinking, meanwhile, I'll go ahead and cut the bump stops on this too. There you go. So once again, you can use a hacksaw and cut. I've done this before, but it takes forever. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna use a grinder. All right, so the springs are cut. Hopefully, and put this top rubber piece on. Hopefully, it lowers it. Okay. If not, I'm gonna have to take it off again and take it off again and do it all over again. All right, so like I said, it's kind of an old school setup on this car. This has a few links that holds the rear solid axle and the whole housing. And there's this thing called a lateral rod, which is a bar that goes from one side to the other, and that's like the fifth link for the suspension. Now, when you lower a car like this, the lateral rod stays the same length, and by lowering it, I think this the whole housing kind of goes that way as it gets lowered. So I guess this isn't an old school trick. All you got to do is put like a 1.5mm spacer on this side, and then the wheels stick out about the same. Now this doesn't really matter because I'm running stock Steelies, but for those of you who has like other wheels, you can do that. But the right way to correct it is to get one of these, get an aftermarket lateral rod. By adjusting the length of the lateral rod, you can make the tires stick out evenly or sit in the middle. So a lot of the Corolla guys does that for their Corollas for the rear. All right, so the car's lowered more than how it was. It's not like dumped or anything, but actually it looks kind of cool. I just need some wheels. I'll just wait on adjusting the rears. I don't know what kind of wheels I'm going to get for this thing yet, but hopefully something cool and old school. So I think I will cut it half spring at a time if I do adjust it and want to lower it later on. But I do carry a lot of stuff. This is kind of my parts hauler too, so I don't want it to be too dumped where it's going to be bottling me out all the time when I have a lot of stuff in the back. Have a friend or somebody help you too whenever you have the time to, but you have to do the front end toe in, toe out because the car's lowered, it's going to be messed up, car's going to handle bad, tires going to wear bad too, so don't forget to do those too. All right, well that's it for today. Hope you guys liked it. I know it was a slow paced, kind of a boring video, but very basic stuff on this car. But I know you guys are getting a little anxious to go out, go driving and whatnot. But if you're working on your car at your home, at your garage or something, just always have in mind that safety comes first. Especially at times like this, you don't want to get hurt or get injured or anything because everything is already messed up. So we're all in it together. Please stay home, please stay safe. Find something cool to do at home too. There's always stuff to do. You can just chill or work on your car or do whatever. So until I see you guys next time, peace out.